Okay. All right. Hopefully we are broadcasting live on Facebook at the same time. Hey, everybody, it's Helen Moses, your voice and messaging coach. I am very, very excited to be here today with Maura Silverman. Maura is the founder and currently the executive director of Triangle Aphasia Project, also known as TAP. And guess what? It's TAP Tuesday. It's Tap Tuesday. Yay. So that means I'm coming here with more video. I wanted to get Maura on camera to be able to ask her some questions that I've been wanting to ask her for a very long time. And I want you to know the answers to these questions too. I don't want to delay any further. Let's get started.
Yay.
All right, Maura, welcome. So glad you're here. Thank you for this time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm always excited to talk about TAP and especially to have the opportunity to tell you how much we appreciate all you're doing for the organization. I think your mission to raise money goes beyond raising money to raising awareness and dropping that pebble in the water, and your ripple effect has already been felt by empowering other people. So we're so grateful. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're welcome, and thank you for saying that. I am just thrilled to be in a position to do this. Tell us, Maura, a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm a speech pathologist. Like you, I had entered the field because I wanted to serve. I wanted to help people. I always had a passion for working with adults, especially those who had aphasia, because I really felt like there was so much they wanted to say. And I felt really empowered to be able to help them find, their voice. So very similar to you, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. It sounds familiar. Mm-hmm. Why did you start TAP?
Well, along my journey as a speech pathologist, I had incredible opportunities to work with amazing speech pathologists, PT, OT, rehab, art, music, RT, everybody along this continuum of care with people with aphasia. And with other types of brain injury. And as I was going along the continuum, I noticed there was a lot of seams in the transitions from one level to the next. I started to read a lot and became kind of a neuroplasticity junkie. Really love finding out about the possibility that the brain can rewire. And, it's really in the last 10 to 15 years where we've learned about that opportunity and that possibility. So as I was growing in excitement and knowledge about what is potential for people and had a gut feeling that they could do it if they really had the right mindset and the right opportunities, we were finding that we were having less and less clinical opportunities to support people in that journey. And that was extremely frustrating to me. Insurance was being cut, and services for individuals with stroke, brain injury were limited. And I knew that people wanted more. They were listening to old theories about a year being max of what they could return. And I knew it wasn't true. Plus, I was, working with incredible speech pathologists who saw it also. And I thought, why don't we provide something that follows these people around the continuum and then is there for them when all these other kind of traditional medical models, evaporate. And we would have a safe landing place and even a springboard to return to the community. So I sound silly, but I had a dream and kind of field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. And boy, they came. It's great.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. And not silly at all. And thank you. Thank you for going after your dream. I know when I was a speech therapist working at the beginning of my career, it was at the second half of the 90s. And we were taught even back then that it was just about a year. I mean, that was about all you could expect. And having visited TAP in this journey of mine to raise awareness and raise money, I have been so amazed at the stories of people who have been continuing to make gains years, decades after their stroke. And it's just so encouraging. And thank you for following that dream. Thank you, because I watch these people and their lives be affected when I go and visit. And that's what I hope to just help other people understand, what an amazing difference TAP makes for these people and their families.
Well, let's be honest, I couldn't do it without the support of, first of all, my husband and my family, who sacrificed a lot and continue to sacrifice to allow me to live a dream. And then the speech pathologists in the community, it's incredible the support and partnership that we're in to serve these people. I mean, I have the best job in the world because I get to work with all these amazing people. So.
Oh, that's so neat. You just mentioned the speech therapists that are involved. I know I have a lot of friends who are speech therapists and might know of other ones. How can speech therapists get involved, and what role do they play in TAP?
You know, the possibilities are endless. It is not just a matter of referring people that that need the service. Of course, you know, we appreciate those referrals, but become as involved as you want there's committees, for example, development committee, program committees. If you want to impact the lives of people with aphasia and their family, join up behind the scenes of what happened. You know, our organization is made up of mostly volunteers and 1.5 staff. I mean, not much, paid staff, but it's all the ideas that come from people who say, boy, you know, we had one speech pathologist, for example, who loved gardening. She's a master gardener. Now, for me, who has like a brown thumb, you know, I can't grow a plastic plant, but she had such passion for it that she brought it to me and said, I love leading groups. You know, I love having a piece of it. You have ownership. You get that 1 hour a week where you're just inspired and you remember why you started in the field. Mm-hmm. But then I have a passion or an interest of my own that I could provide as a life participation approach to these people with aphasia, and thus became Taproots, which is one of our most successful and amazing programs. So, get involved with the passion that you already have to be in the field.
I love it. And I've witnessed a little bit, a snippet of Taproots myself, and they do amazing things in Holly Springs, right? For the community there, helping to grow tons of food a year.
Yeah. And it's connecting them back into their life, but also kind of reducing the stigma and evening out the playing fields, because they're out there and people are understanding that aphasia does not impact their cognitive abilities and their ability to give and to serve and to be engaged. So, yes. Life participation doesn't mean anything if you're not living your life, So.
Yes, that bears repeating. And I just want to highlight something that you said, and I even have the bumper sticker on the back of my car, that aphasia is loss of language, not of intelligence.
Yeah.
It's hard for people who don't know anything about aphasia to understand that what has been damaged are the language skills, exactly. Not the intellect.
Exactly. And thinking about those connections, everything is language based. Your phone, your, words that you sing, words that you write, your texts, your emails, everything is language. And when you lose it, you lose connection to the people that you love. And they, who are nurturing, wonderful people, want to help, but they don't know how. So, that's another piece of TAP is we're not just groups. We have 3 service divisions, programs for people with aphasia, programs for their family, and then for healthcare providers and for the community to learn about aphasia so that people can easily re-engage in their world.
That's wonderful. What would you say to a person who is not a TAP client currently, but who has aphasia? What would you say to that person?
Well, I would say a couple things. One is get away from the TV. Move away from the TV. We know how the brain can change, and it takes repetition and intensity, and it takes saliency. It takes relevancy to your life, and you can't get those sitting at home. You have to challenge yourself and get out and about. And whether you decide to participate, a lot of times we'll get somebody who says, well, I don't know if they'd be a good candidate for TAP because they're not a group person. Well, I'll tell you, when a person with aphasia meets another person with aphasia and all the walls break down and they say, I know, I can't get it out. And everybody in the group goes, oh, I gotcha. Same here. I understand. And I think what I would say is don't ever, ever, ever give up. And, a very important colleague of mine, a mentor, has this acronym PACE or CAPE. And one of the things that Roberta Ellman tells us is that connection is the primary thing that we need to do for the people with aphasia. Get them meeting other people, and then to support and educate and their family, because let's face it, if you have aphasia, the whole family has it, all the friends, and it is not a person disorder. It's a disorder that affects all communication.
Absolutely. Oh gosh, yeah. There's just so much and connection. I mean, we're all human beings. That's what we want. We want that connection. So now you've talked to the person with aphasia. What would you say to their family members?
Well, again, I would say don't listen to all of the things that people say about plateaus and length, of recovery. It is so individualized, and there is so much to be hopeful for, to find ways to connect with other family members going through that. We have a program called TAPnet, which is a support group, and we're actually having an upcoming workshop for families entering the holidays, learning how to deal with a person with aphasia in their environment. I would say to family members that the person is still there and that they need to feel connected to their world, and that as a person with, like, if you have a mobility disorder, you might need a cane or a wheelchair. But if you have a communication disorder, you need another person, and that person needs to know how to speak aphasia, which is why we offer a training every month for free for families that's called Learning to Speak Aphasia. And, gaining the information and the knowledge will empower you to not help, to help by not helping, which is right. The goal.
Yeah. Learn to Speak Aphasia. That's something that they can find on your website, aphasiaproject.org.
Yes, we also put it on our Facebook page at the TAP Unlimited Facebook page, and we offer it once a month. It's coming up actually this Sunday from 3 to 5.
This Sunday. What time?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay, very good. Maybe we can post a link to that.
That'd be great.
At the bottom of this after we finish the video. You talked about how speech therapists can get involved and help, but not everyone is a trained speech therapist. Not everyone knows how to speak aphasia. Of course, I'm raising not only money as a birthday project for my 50th birthday, but my goal is just to get more people to understand what aphasia is. And I think the more that people understand what it is and understand what TAP can do for people with aphasia,
right,
to help reestablish those connections, they might want to get involved. And some people are able to contribute money. Some people have more time than money. So what could just the average person who wants to help do?
Well, it's interesting. We do get a lot of requests for volunteers, but they tend to be not just a lot of students, which is great. But students are limited in their time, and many transition out of this area or go to a job and then don't have the time. So people with time is an extremely awesome asset for TAP. We have things like, you wouldn't imagine, data entry and computer work here at the TAP office. We have lots of people who are part of TAP that want to start a communication support team, which is a really unique opportunity here at TAP for a person to get a community of people that help support them and provide language opportunities for them on an ongoing basis. Come and we can hook you up with a team. There's so many people that could use your support.
I hope that this will inspire some more people to get involved. I know that I have spent some time at the Cary facility, and the other week I just had to go just to absorb that love and that energy. It's so good. So it's good for your soul, I can tell you. Just being in that environment, it's good. It feels good.
Well, I think that's, if I can add, I think that because 60 or 86% of people don't even know what aphasia is, we're not at the top of the list of let's look for volunteer opportunities, right? We have needs for board members, for committee members, for educated, enthusiastic, connected, passionate people. And I guarantee them that energy that you talk about will happen to them. They just need to spend a little time at one of the groups, one of the programs that we run, one of the fundraisers, the Strides for Speech, which you ran.
I did.
2 weeks ago. Is that 2 weeks ago? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So that energy that people felt there, that hope and motivation is so palatable. You can feel it. Palpable, I guess is the word.
Palpable, yes.
Yeah, you can feel it, but you have to be here to do it. So, I would really encourage people to get their fix by coming in and getting that love and that the laughter and the, people say words that they didn't mean and they all laugh. And it is the coolest, experience. So I'm glad you brought that up.
You're welcome. I want to, before we finish, I want to get a little personal with you, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
I know that you have a family member who has aphasia, and would you just tell us a little bit about that and that story and what it's like, what's your relationship like with her? Just give us a little insight.
Sure. Well, a lot of people, when they first hear that my mom has aphasia, they'll say, well, that must have been why you started TAP. And, I'm here to tell you that my mom was the biggest supporter of my dreams and of TAP, came to every event until her stroke in 2009. And, life changed on a dime. And for the first time in my professional career, I saw very acutely what people that love somebody with aphasia feel. I constantly feel the need to pull the words out from my mom's mouth. I understand what it's like to know that somebody knows and to fight for their dignity and fight for their voice. And the professional on my one shoulder says, I'm not helping you. You can do it yourself. And because I know that's what she needs. The daughter on this side, this is my mom and all the conversations that we used to have. And I understand why a spouse might say, it's not even like naming things in a room, which is what a lot of time is spent naming nouns, it's how do I engage like I used to at night to tell them about my day? How do I tell a parent, our average age is 47 years old. These people are in the middle of their career. And, I can tell you that now being on both sides, the understanding has changed the energy of the program to emphasize the need to care for the communication partners, to give them a voice and allow them to grieve and to understand that is an incredible loss. But it's not gone. And maybe we can provide a key to help somebody get in again. So sorry.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for being so raw with us. That's the reality of aphasia.
It really
That's what that is right there. One more question for you. What is your vision for TAP? It's currently a local entity, but do you have bigger dreams?
Oh, I have more ideas than I have time or energy or probably breath for. But actually, I think that TAP is in a really cool position right now where, we are just starting to get the word out. And for many years, one of my biggest frustrations is that people would come up and meet me and say, "Oh, you're TAP." And I'd say, I'm not TAP. I run TAP, but I'm not synonymous. The coolest thing about where the program is now is it's got its own identity, and that people understand, that Strides for Speech. I was at my niece's wedding. I wasn't there. The first program that I hadn't attended for TAP in 15 years of having this organization be, there. That life is just about to just get up and move. And I feel like we are, we're unique in our hub and spoke model. We're unique in being able to reach people in their communities. My dream is that we do a better job of